If you could destroy the person who betrayed you with just 3 phone calls, would you do it? Because when I was 8 months pregnant with twins, watching my husband's mistress kiss him at our anniversary dinner, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I made 3 calls that obliterated his $12 million empire in less than 24 hours. But before I tell you exactly how a pregnant woman brought down a tech mogul and his mistress, I need you to understand something. This wasn't revenge. This was justice. And if you're watching this thinking you'd never be in my position, that you'd see the signs that you're too smart to be fooled, that's exactly what I thought too. Hit subscribe right now, because by the end of this story, you'll understand why sometimes the quietest response is the most devastating. That text popped up on my husband's phone while he was in the shower. 8 weeks before our anniversary. 8 weeks before the kiss that would go viral. 8 weeks before I became known as the woman who destroyed her cheating husband so completely that he went from millionaire to minimum wage. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Because to understand why I did what I did, you need to know about the prenup. The one my husband thought would protect him. The one with a fatal flaw he never saw coming. My name is Victoria Chin Matthews. 8 months pregnant. Interior designer. And according to my husband Alexander, completely dependent on him. Here's what Alexander told his mistress about me, and yes, I have the receipts. She's weak. Emotional. She'll crumble when I leave. She has no idea how money works. Here's what Alexander didn't know about me. I'd been recording everything for 8 weeks. I had a forensic accountant on speed dial. And the prenup he was so proud of? It was worthless. But wait, I'm jumping ahead again. Let me show you exactly what happened that night. February 14th. 11 Madison Park. Same table where he proposed 7 years ago. I'm wearing a burgundy dress that barely fits over my massive belly. He's checking his phone every 30 seconds. Looking at the door. Sweating in February. Then she walks in. Rebecca Sterling. 26. Harvard MBA. Wearing a red dress that costs more than most people's rent. She walks straight to our table, grabs my husband's face and kisses him. 6 seconds. I counted. The restaurant goes silent. 200 people staring at the pregnant woman whose husband just got claimed like property. And I don't react. Not yet. Because here's what nobody knew. I'd hired a private investigator 8 weeks earlier. I knew Rebecca would be there. I knew about the kiss. I even knew what she was about to say. She sits down next to him, puts her hand on her stomach and says, "I'm pregnant." 4 months. We've been together 18 months. The divorce papers are already drawn up. 18 months. Let that sink in. While I was injecting myself with IVF hormones. While we were picking names. While I was building his company with my inheritance. Oh, did I forget to mention that part? Every dollar Alexander had came from me. But we'll get to that. I stand up slowly, imagine a whale trying to be graceful, and say 5 words, "I'll be right back." "Don't make a scene," Alexander says. I smile. "Baby, I don't make scenes. I make moves. In that bathroom I make 3 calls. But before I tell you what those calls were, you need to understand what I discovered 8 weeks earlier. Because the credit card charge for lingerie wasn't the worst thing. Not even close. The worst thing was the email I found. The one where Alexander and Rebecca were planning something that would have destroyed me if I hadn't found it first. They were going to have me committed. Postpartum psychosis, they'd claim. Take my babies. Take my money. Take everything. But here's where it gets interesting. The prenup Alexander made me sign? His lawyer never filed it correctly. The witnesses? They don't exist. I'd been sitting on this information for 6 weeks, waiting. Back to the bathroom. 3 calls. First call, execute everything. Tonight. Second call, freeze all accounts. Start the audit. Third call, bring the trucks. When I walk back to the table, Rebecca is scrolling through her phone, showing Alexander something. Their new apartment. The one they bought with money he'd stolen from our joint investments. Yeah, I knew about that too. "Victoria," Alexander starts, "we need to discuss arrangements." "You're right," I say, sitting back down. "Let's discuss. Rebecca, should we start with your fake pregnancy or your 3 previous affairs with married executives?" Her face goes white. "Oh, she didn't tell you?" I ask Alexander. This is her 4th time. Goldman Sachs, Credit Suisse, Millennium Management. Always the same pattern. Always a pregnancy scare. Check her purse. Bet there's a pregnancy test she'll never take. Rebecca stands to leave. "Sit down," I say quietly. "I'm not done." Something in my voice makes her sit. "Alexander, remember that merger you're so excited about? The one that's going to make you 50 million? It's dead. The SEC knows about the fraudulent valuations. They'll be at your office at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Now here's the part that nobody expects. The part that made the video go viral. The part that changed everything. Alexander starts laughing. Actually laughing. You can't do anything, he says. The prenup protects me. Everything is in my name. You're nobody. I pull out my phone. Show him a document. This is the deed to our house. See that signature? That's mine. See that payment? From my trust. See that date? 3 days before our wedding. You never owned anything, Alexander. You were just borrowing my life. But wait, it gets better. Your company? I continue. 51% owner is a shell company called VM Holdings. Want to guess what VM stands for? Victoria Matthews. I've owned your company for 3 years. You just never read the documents you signed. Rebecca runs out. Actually runs. Leaves her Hermes bag behind. Alexander sits there, frozen. Then he says the words that sealed his fate. I'll destroy you in court. With what money? I ask. Your accounts are already frozen. Your credit cards are canceled. Your investors will be calling in their loans by morning. You have exactly. I check my watch, 14 hours of being rich left. The next morning, and this is where people usually don't believe me, but I have video proof, I made him breakfast. His favorite. Eggs Benedict. Fresh orange juice. Are we okay? He asks, confused. We're perfect, I smile. Have a great day at the office. The second he leaves, 20 people descend on my house. Movers, lawyers, locksmiths. We have 8 hours. By 5 p.m., locks changed. His office is now a nursery. His belongings are in storage. The house is mine. The cars are mine. The company is mine. When he comes home, his key doesn't work. I open the door, 8 months pregnant, holding divorce papers. This is illegal, he screams. No, this is preparation. Rebecca shows up in an Uber. They fired me. This is your fault. They turn on each other instantly. Screaming on my lawn. The neighbors film everything. 3 million views in 2 days. But here's the part nobody knows. The part I've never told anyone until now. 3 weeks later I give birth. Alexander isn't there, he's in federal custody. My twins are born perfect, healthy, and rich. Because here's the final twist. My grandmother didn't just leave me $3 million. She left me $20 million. I never told Alexander about the other 17. It's been sitting in a trust, growing, waiting. My daughters will never need anything from anyone. Alexander now works at Best Buy. Actually Best Buy. Makes $32,000 a year. Has supervised visitation he can't afford. Rebecca moved back to Ohio, sells insurance with her dad. Last week Alexander texted me, "Can we talk?" I replied with his own words, "You wouldn't understand." Then I blocked him. But wait, there's one more thing. Remember that Hermes bag Rebecca left behind? Inside was a folder. Plans for my accident after the babies were born. They were going to make it look like postpartum depression. I gave it to the FBI. Alexander's not just broke. He's under investigation for conspiracy to commit murder. So when people ask me how I stayed so calm that night, how I didn't throw wine in their faces or cause a scene, I tell them the truth. When you know you've already won, you don't need to fight. You just need to let them destroy themselves. My twins will grow up knowing their mother didn't break when betrayed. She built an empire from the ashes of a burned marriage. They'll know that documentation beats emotion, that preparation beats panic, and that the best revenge isn't served cold, it's served with legal papers. That night at the restaurant, Rebecca thought she was stealing my husband. Alexander thought he was escaping his prison. Neither realized they were walking into a trap I'd been setting for 8 weeks. Every text they sent, I had. Every email, every photo, every hotel receipt. I had recordings of them planning my destruction. I had proof of embezzlement, fraud, conspiracy. I had everything. Because here's what nobody tells you about revenge. It's not about anger. It's about patience. It's not about emotion. It's about evidence. And it's not about winning the battle, it's about making sure there's no war to fight. The investigator I hired? He found something else. Alexander had done this before. First wife. Similar pattern. She didn't fight back. Signed an NDA. Disappeared. I found her. We're friends now. She's testifying at his fraud trial. Rebecca? She wasn't pregnant. Never was. But she was married. Yeah, her husband didn't know about Alexander. He does now. He's also suing Alexander for alienation of affection. The company Alexander built? I sold it last month. $42 million. The buyers specifically wanted it because of the scandal. They're turning it into a case study on corporate fraud. My interior design firm? Booked solid for 3 years. Every betrayed wife in Manhattan wants to hire the woman who destroyed Alexander Matthews. My clients don't just want beautiful homes, they want strategic protection. I give them both. 6 months ago, I saw Alexander at a courthouse. He was there for bankruptcy hearings. I was there finalizing the sale of his company. He looked broken. Defeated. "Victoria," he called out. I kept walking. "Please," he said. "Just 1 minute." I stopped. Turned around. "You have 30 seconds. "I'm sorry." "No, you're sorry you got caught." "I loved you." "No, you loved my money. And now it's gone. Your 30 seconds are up." But here's the final thing, the thing that still makes me smile. Remember those 3 calls I made from the bathroom? The first wasn't to a lawyer. It was to a reporter at the Wall Street Journal. The second wasn't to an accountant. It was to the FBI. The third wasn't to my family. It was to Alexander's mother. She was there when he came home to change locks. She saw everything. She testified against him. Even his own mother chose me in the divorce. People always ask, would you do it again? Would you destroy him so completely? Yes, but faster. Because here's the truth about betrayal, it's not just about the cheating. It's about the planning, the calculation, the belief that you're too stupid to notice. Alexander and Rebecca didn't just want to leave me. They wanted to destroy me. Take my children. Take my money. Take my sanity. They thought I was weak because I was pregnant. They thought I was stupid because I was quiet. They thought I was defeated because I didn't react. They were wrong about everything. My twins are 3 now. They'll never know their father was a monster who planned their mother's destruction. They'll only know he's someone they see 2 hours a month in a supervised facility. If he can afford it, which he usually can't. Last week, Rebecca tried to friend me on Instagram. Her bio says life coach and motivational speaker. Her last post had 4 likes. I didn't accept the request, but I did screenshot it for my lawyer, just in case. Because that's the thing about people like Alexander and Rebecca, they always come back. They always want something, and they never learn. But I learned. I learned that love without loyalty is worthless. That marriage without respect is dangerous. That trust without verification is stupid. And I learned that the best response to betrayal isn't anger, it's annihilation. Complete, total, legal, financial, social, annihilation. So here's my advice. Document everything. Trust no one completely. Keep your own money. And when someone shows you who they are, believe them. But more importantly, when someone underestimates you, let them. Right up until the moment you destroy everything they thought they knew. The pregnant woman they dismissed at that restaurant? She wasn't a victim. She was a predator who'd been patiently waiting for her prey to walk into the trap. And they walked right in, smiling. Now, 3 things before you go. First, hit subscribe because next week I'm sharing the actual text messages between Alexander and Rebecca, including the ones about hiring a hitman. Yeah, that happened. Second, smash that like button if you believe the best revenge is complete destruction. Third, comment below, what would you have done? Would you have confronted them immediately or played the long game? Because trust me, the custody battle update is even crazier. Rebecca showed up claiming she had Alexander's baby after all, with a fake DNA test that she bought online for $50. You can't make this stuff up. Like and subscribe for more.